It's always good to serve the good people of CITN and by extension Nigeria. Service in the institute is service to humanity. That is clear. When we tell people our sacrifice, the way we go up and down in the institute, they think it's a position where you get money. It is not. The institute is a professional institute. If you are ready, you come forward, you put yourself forward amongst your colleagues. If they believe in you, they vote for you one way or the other, you get to the top. So it's been an opportunity. I'm eternally grateful to God. I'm eternally grateful to our members who have supported me over the years. And I'm exceedingly happy that in a few hours' time, I'm handing over to a man that I can call a good man. So the institute is moving from me to another person that I know will do better than I've ever done in the past 2 years.
That was Barrister Samuel Olushola Agbeluyi, the 16th president of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, who has just handed over to the 17th president, Mr. Innocent Chinyere Ohagwa. Barrister Agbeluyi was speaking to the press at the end of the 2025 annual general meeting. A major highlight of the 2025 AGM was the announcement of the election of 4 new members elected into Council of the Institute. Mrs. Fowoko Titilayo, Mr. Abidakun Olutayo Funsho, Mrs. Okorafor Ezinwanwanyeze, and Alhaji Osman Ibrahim Alfadari were announced as the winners of the election held online.
I have been reliably informed that in line with the charter of our referred institute, 4 vacancies existed by virtue of retirement of 4 members of council. Elections were conducted electronically via the institute e-voting platform. The scrutineers have met to review the result of the election. May I now call on the chairman of the scrutineer, Chief Mark Anthony Dike, FCTI, a past president of the institute, to present the scrutineer's report.
Report of the scrutineers committee to the 33rd annual general meeting of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, held on Wednesday, 4th June 2025. Some kind of a statistical array. For 2025, total members of the institute, excluding the number of those inducted in the year of election, was 30,306, 100%, of course. Total number of eligible voters was, and you know, when you talk about eligibility, you must be financially up to date. 12,497, making 41.2%. Total number of votes cast was 7,079, which constitutes 56.65% of those who are eligible to vote. And total number of votes not cast was 5,418, which constituted 43.35%. Furthermore, the law confirmed that no member voted before or after the election portal was opened and closed respectively. It was further affirmed that no member cast more than 4 votes. And when we talk about 4 votes, there were 4 vacancies. Deloitte and Chams confirmed that there was no discrepancy in the election. Hence, the committee certified that the election was free and fair. At the conclusion of the voting exercise, the results in respect of the 9 members of the institute who contested for the 2025 council elections are listed below. We must congratulate them. Number 1, Ms. Abidaku Oluwatayo Funsho, membership number 9620, votes received 3,648. Number 2, Aino Olujimi Olufemi, membership number 2710180, vote received 2770. Number 3, Akindele Akiola Shehu, membership number 22106, vote received 2821. Number 4, Fowoko Titilayo Enito, membership number 6855, vote received 4544. Number 5, Hecop Dan Philip. Membership number 9245. Vote received 1565. Number 6, Mabuzo Monday Emeke. Membership number 9877. Vote received 2365. Number 7, Okorafo Ezinwa Nwanyeze. Membership number 6742. Vote received 3789. Number 8, Oyedeku Godwin Emmanuel. Membership number 9987. Vote received 3364. Number 9, Usman Ibrahim Alpha Dairai. Membership number 4380. Vote received 3450. Consequently, in the light of the outcome of the 2025 e-voting exercise as declared above, the scrutineers hereby declare the following contestants with the highest number of votes as elected council members of the Institute for the next 3 years, that is from May 2025 to May 2028. And the list is as follows. Number 1, Fowoko Titilayo Enito. Number 2, Okorafo Ezinwa Nwanyeze. Number 3, Abidaku Oluwatayo Funsho. Number 4, Usman Ibrahim Alpha Darai.
These men and women will serve on the council for a term of 3 years in the first instance. The annual general meeting also featured the reading and adoption of the minutes of the 2024 AGM, presentation of audited accounts for the year ending 31st December 2024, and the auditor's reports. Outgoing 16th President of the Institute, Barrister Samuel Olushola Agbeluyi, presided over the annual general meeting.
Let me begin by thanking our esteemed members of council, referred past president, members of the Institute, as well as stakeholders for the support, dedication, and commitment you have all played such a pivotal role in the presidential year. Your collective support has been instrumental in driving our achievement during my presidency. I am eternally grateful for this support. Today, I have the honor and pleasure to present to you the report of how the Institute has fared within the last presidential year. CITN cannot operate as an island, so we have operated within the global community. Suffice to say that the global economy environment has been turbulent.
Barrister Agbeluyi's 2-year tenure coincided with the first 2 years of the federal and state governments having assumed office in June 2023.
On the domestic front, Nigerian economy is poised for a positive trajectory. Knowing that we had change of baton at the political level, both at the federal and the state, we are witnessing a new dimension in our economic landscape. The CITN operated within a dynamic environment shaped by national focus on tax and fiscal policy reforms, economic resilience, and regulatory changes. As the country prioritizes domestic revenue generation, CITN remains a key thought leader and convener in Nigerian fiscal transformation. You will agree with me that the activities, particularly at the fiscal policy level, has been very enormous in the past 1 year, and your institute has participated both at the National Assembly and within the media to sensitize and even to train our members on the impending policy and law changes coming. So I encourage members to stay afloat and learn more, because the changes that are coming with a lot of opportunities. CITN under this presidency remain committed to the implementation of the 2021 to 2027 medium-term strategic plan tagged Developing the Tax Profession. The strategic direction of the plan was aimed on connecting with stakeholders, building administrative and technical capacity, as well as forging and strengthening the strategic alliances with effective communication. Therefore, this report will dwell on how well we have worked towards achieving this objective. Part of that strategic document that the incoming will be working with has to do with the facilitation, engagement with stakeholders, so that we can make more impact with the economy and the people that matters in this country. In the course of the year, we paid visit to the number 4 citizens of this country. That is the Speaker of the House of Rep, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, PhD, GCON. We were also with the Attorney General, who is our member. In fact, he was in our annual dinner last year after our courtesy visit to his office. We were with Lagos State Government, who received us and also supported the institute financially in the course of our program. We were at Borno State, received by the Deputy Governor. We were in Nasarawa State, received by the Governor, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State. Plateau State, the Executive Governor received us. It was not just a visit to the Governor of Plateau State, but your institute took our council retreat to Jos, because CITN is pan-Nigeria, and we felt we should move around our programs. So we were in Jos, in the peaceful and beautiful city of Jos, where we had our retreat, and we paid visit to the Executive Governor, who in turn was physically present in our conference, another task conference in Abuja just last month. We were with another senior member of the institute, the chairman of EFCC, in his office, and we share some ideas, some of which will go into implementation anytime from now. So we have other programs that we did in the course of the year. We also were in US to inaugurate the US and District Society, meaning that your institute has 2 districts outside the country, the first one in UK in 2023 and the most recent one in US and Canada in early this year. So we know taxation is both international and domestic, so you can't focus on one leg and ignore the other. Membership growth has been tremendous, and I need to say this, that we are close to 32,000 members, membership base. This is tremendous, and it shows the kind of belief members of the public potential members have in the institute. The last time we broke the bar by having about 1,500 induction, and I know a lot of people, a lot of applications are even waiting for November induction. As I conclude my tenure, I cannot but appreciate and salute the founding fathers of this great institute. I need to re-emphasize that once again, starting from the doyen of taxation, our own daddy, Chief David Olonleke, FCTI, refer past, present, as well as council members for the opportunity to serve the institute and by extension humanity. I'm deeply grateful to committee members, chairman of district society, esteemed members of the institute, and secretarial staff for their contribution. I think I've worked with a set of wonderful people. Can you please appreciate this set of people? A special appreciation goes to our stakeholders and partners for the collaboration and trust in our vision, particularly the FRS. FRS has always been with us. We thank them, and we are always ready to also collaborate with them. State Internal Revenue Services, businesses, the academia, enlightened taxpayers, and members of the general public. Together, we have made significant strides in advancing the tax profession and contribution to the national development. As we move forward, let us continue to work with the same spirit of excellence, integrity, professionalism that defines CITN. I am confident that with your continued support, CITN will achieve even greater heights under the new presidency and beyond. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Long live Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, and thank you once again.
Barrister Agbeluyi has since handed over to Mr. Innocent Chinyere Ohagwa, a recently retired coordinating director at the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Mr. Ohagwa will serve a 2-year term from 2025 to 2027. Barrister Agbeluyi and Mr. Ohagwa spoke to the press. On the takeaway from the 2025 Annual General Meeting.
Well, the take-home is underscores the corporate governance of CITN, how organized and how responsible we are to our members, whereby every Wednesday of June of every year, we hold our AGM, our Annual General Meeting, to report back to our members on the stewardship, on what we have done in the past 1 year. This has been the tradition, and the current leadership is happy to keep that tradition.
On the ongoing tax reform efforts.
Well, we keep on saying the same thing about the tax reform bill. It's a major positive document that will shape the face of Nigeria economy. We change positively the face of the tax administration and practice in the country. And so we appreciate and we commend President Tinubu, the initiator of these bills. And we also commend the committee members, all those who have worked on the bill. We commend the National Assembly, both the House of Rep and the Senate, for giving the necessary attention to those 4 bills. Now we are waiting for the assent from the President, and because he's the initiator, and because I believe, as an institute, we believe that it means well for the country, any moment from now, we expect that he will sign those bills into law, so that we can enter into a new phase concerning taxation generally in Nigeria.
Barrister Agbeluyi also spoke on the Institute's assessment of President Tinubu's 2 years in office.
As an institute, we look at him from the economic perspective. And in this regard, we believe he has done well. We believe he has taken the very tough decision, starting with the tax reform bill. It's a major step. And once properly implemented, we need to say this, once those bills, once they become laws, once they are properly implemented, we believe that Nigeria will move positively well. It's this on the removal of fuel subsidy, harmonization of the foreign exchange currency. They are positive steps. But every step you take or policy you introduce, the success rely on the implementation. So we believe it should go the whole org to make sure that all these are good initiatives are well implemented for the good people of Nigeria.
Barrister Agbeluyi has since handed over to the 17th president of the CITN, Mr. Innocent Chinyere Ohagwa.
I'm eternally grateful to God. I'm eternally grateful to our members who have supported me over the years. And I'm exceedingly happy that in a few hours' time, I'm handing over to a man that I can call a good man. So the institute is moving from me to another person that I know will do better than I've ever done in the past 2 years.
Mr. Ohagwa had words of advice for tax professionals.
Well, it's for them to do their job in accordance with the ethics of the profession, to be honest, diligent, to serve their clients properly, and remember that they have an obligation to themselves, to their client, and to the Nigerian society. So they have to do it right. More so, tax is both domestic and foreign. So we need to do it right and ensure that at the end of the day, tax is used as a tool, to stabilize the economy, promote competitiveness, and raise revenue.
In a sit-down interview, Barrister Agbeluyi spoke on his 2-year tenure, which has been highly commended as a fruitful tenure. Barrister Agbeluyi, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So let us begin by congratulating you on your successful tenure as the 16th president. Now, I would like to know, what are the high points of your 2-year tenure?
Thank you very much. It's been 2 years like 2 months. And that underscores the level of activities we have had in the Institute. For proper introduction and information, I came in as the 16th president of the Institute, meaning that I had 15 great men and women who have led the Institute even ahead of me. And so I came in June 2023. I was concluding my senior executive course in the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Study, Kuru Jos, as at that time. And so I started with my colleagues. And one important thing we need to state is that as an institute, the president is not a sole administrator. We are just the first amongst equal. And so we started with my colleagues in council and other stakeholders. It's been a great journey, and I will say to God be the glory. I thank God for the journey so far, and I thank my colleague in council, the members of staff, and other stakeholders, particularly the past president of this institute, who have labored greatly to get us to where we were before I took over, and they are still laboring to make sure that the standard does not fall, and that we are reckoned with as a foremost professional institute, not only in Nigeria, but even Africa and beyond. So it's been an exciting ride. I'm grateful to God. The movement were intense. The engagement were very intense. And at the end of the day, the records are there. People will see it and say, make up their mind and say their opinion about whatever they consider as my high point or so as the leader of the institute for 2 years.
All right, sir. We believe that you must have set goals at the beginning of your tenure. So how far did you go in achieving those goals?
Well, as an institute, we are well structured, and I'm very happy of this. And I tell my colleagues, particularly those who are just coming on board newly, CITN is well structured, and kudos to our leaders who handed over the institute to us. We have structure, we have organs, we have committees, one checking the other. And so as a council, under the presidency of Dame Olajumoke Simplis, we had a strategic document, middle-term strategic document, bordering on developing the tax profession in Nigeria. We believe we need there to do more. And so that document gave us some areas to look at with the stakeholders so that we could get CITN to the next level. That meaning that I have my job cut out for me. CITN, you may break down the strategic plans or whatever you may call it into segments. You may call it agenda, you may call it as you like. But I'm not too much a believer or lover of point or agenda, as because this has been wrongly used in Nigeria, particularly by some of our political leaders. 10-point agenda, 20-point agenda. At the end of the day, you can't count 1 or 2 that we have done very well. So I decided to stick to the strategic document of the institute to add value to whatever I met on ground. And so my engagement with stakeholders, maybe you say my colleague in council, members of staff, how do we improve their welfare? How do we make sure that they are in a very conducive environment to work, whereby they can give their best to the institute? Council member, you need harmony. Without harmony, you cannot achieve anything. And you have members who are professors, who are great people in different spheres of life. So you must have in your mind at all times, harmony. You must achieve harmony within council and even amongst all stakeholders. That is critical. It is by the time you do this that you have all the opportunity to do other things. So engagement with the stakeholder was very paramount in my mind, and my colleagues were aware of this. So we work as a team to ensure that, one, we add value to our members. We pride ourselves as a knowledge-based institute. Take knowledge out of CITN. What else do we have? We are not selling anything. And so the charter that set up the institute talks about setting the standard of knowledge required by any professional who wants to be tax professional in the country. That is basic. Conduct research into tax and related matters. That is basic. Carry out advocacy within the tax space in the country. That is basic. So, and we try to do a lot of this, situating this within the strategic plan, so that at the end of the day, we achieve what we achieve. Talking about the stakeholders, the past president, a major stakeholder, they were fantastic. They offered a lot of advice, because no matter how long you think you are prepared, and I've been in council for quite some time, and I've had almost all the committee chairmanship or office bearer office that you can think of, office bearer position that you can think of. But notwithstanding that preparation, you will still need to learn a lot. You will still need to consult with the stakeholders. And the past president were fantastic in this area. They were available to offer me advice. And so the secretariat was also the focus. Essentially, the job of the council, of the institute, is a part-time one. So it is the staff that you have that carry out the implementation of the implementation on day-to-day basis of our policy, of our strategic focus. So, as the president, you can't afford to be on part-time, even though you don't get paid as in salary for what to do. But you can't afford to be on part-time, because you need to be in touch with the registrar from time to time. And maybe I need to say this by way of information for the first time. Under my leadership, the institute that is 43 years plus, we had the first female registrar who has done very well under this tenure, giving credence to the fact that ladies are wonderful. So I needed to be on top of what was going on in the secretariat. The media, they are very important. Whatever you do, no matter how good in your objective your performances are, if you are not letting the public know, then it's like you have not done anything. And in a unique manner, as I was coming into the office, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into office, I think about 2 weeks before I came to the office as the 16th president of CITN. And he came with a major shift from what we used to know from the political leaders of this country. Set a good template to work on the tax policy leading to tax law in this country and administration. And we key into that, we partner with the government. We set up a presidential committee on tax reform, fiscal policy and tax reform. And I was, my humble self was a member of that committee. The chairman of that committee is a senior member of this institute. And we have a lot of our members in that committee, combined with other professionals and business people in the country. We participated actively in the drafting of that policies, which has turned to a bill, and the bill that has been passed now, soon to be assented to by the president. This was a major assignment for me as the 16th president, and even for the institute, because we play a very prominent front row assignment in this process. And we are happy that our contribution has greatly helped in shaping what was submitted at the National Assembly in conjunction with the contribution of other people. And it was easy for us as an institute to do that, because most of what we have in the bills, most of those proposals are what those who have led this institute, even ahead of me, have been talking about 20, 15 years ago. CITN has been highlighting this, but we are very grateful that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came to the rescue of the country, because with the low GDP, tax to GDP ratio, there was no way we could move on to finance our public expenditure. And unfortunately for the country, or fortunately, whichever we look at it, the revenue from natural resources, particularly crude oil, was dwindling. And so tax revenue has to come to the rescue. That has been in place for about 3-4 years now. But more importantly, we need to do better than we are doing. So as the president was coming in, I think the tax to GDP moved to about 10.6 as President Barr was leaving. And the current information at my disposal is that as at end of last year, the tax to GDP moved to 13%. But on the day of the inauguration of the tax reform committee, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said he actually wanted that to move from 10.8% as at then to 18%. That's a massive movement. And that's a very audacious statement he made. But I think we are moving towards that goal. There's no doubt in my mind that should these bills be assented to by the president, we are most likely going to achieve that quickly. But certain steps must be taken by our political leaders, and that will include strong political will. Strong political will to move against the non-state actor, to do the right thing, and embrace accountability and transparency. Once and it doesn't ordinarily, sometimes you wonder what human beings are set out to do. These things are not too difficult because they are existing even in so many other jurisdictions. Just give the political will, support the administrator, support the tax practitioner in doing the right thing, account for whatever is given to you, spend it judiciously, let the people be able to relate with whatever you do, and of course, move against the non-state actors because nobody is benefiting. Whatever they are collecting is not coming to public purse. So why should we retain them within the system? But I tell you from what I know, it will take a lot of political will to do all this. I have no doubt that the president will do it, but it is not just at the federal level. We must also look at the subnationals. They need to do a lot about this. Once most of these things I've mentioned are done, we'll get to the promised land. So this has been a major part of what we have done in the past 2 years, myself and my colleagues inclusive.
We are not supposed to ask you, but what would you consider as your legacy or your most cherished achievements?
Well, maybe I may not want to use legacy because I offer myself to serve, and I should serve. I don't expect any clapping for doing the basic thing I offer myself to do. But if you ask me, I think CITN, under my leadership in the past 2 years, have gained a lot of visibility and publicity. We have had a fantastic relationship with the media. And so I know the information I get out there. I know the feedback I get. And I said it at the beginning of this interview that no matter how good your activities are, if members of the public, the stakeholders are not aware, then it's like you are not doing anything. So the informations are there. As recent as a few hours before I was to hand over to my successor in office, I was still getting calls from the media houses that if I could come and speak on 1 or 2 things to the members of the public. That was not the experience before now. I doubt if there's any major media, particularly electronic media houses that I have not been to in the past 2 years. And it is to do the advocacy aspect of our job. Let the members of the public know their obligation, and let the government also know their obligation and their right. So we have done a lot of this, and the issues of the tax reform bills give us the latitude to do a lot of education, to do a lot of public enlightenment. I've been almost everywhere doing this, even outside of the country. I was in Belgium for a program, and impromptu, I was called to come and address the people. We have a lot of European, we have people from, some people from African country. And when I mounted the podium, because that's what I've been doing almost for 2 years as at that time, I was like marketing the country. I was talking to them, telling them that the tax base in the country is getting better, and it's going to get better even going forward, because the government has taken this step, they have taken this step, the professionals in the country are supporting, the stakeholders are supporting that kind of a thing. So when you are looking at investing in Nigeria, because most of the people in that gathering were tax professionals, lawyers, they are advisors to companies, or they are network individual as the case may be. Or I had the opportunity of marketing the country to them, that if you come around, you are certain of what will be your tax obligation. There is certainty of law going forward, which is very critical to business plan and the likes. And to my surprise, maybe about 7 minutes, opportunity to speak. People held me back after that time for more than 30 minutes, engaging me in further discussion, taking my contact. Some were snapping the card for the program in order to reach out to me on LinkedIn and the other social media, whatever. So that is how far we are going in this area to ensure the feasibility for the institute. I'm happy we have done this alongside my colleagues, because in most cases it is difficult for the president, because some media houses will specify that they want the president to come, and when we had the opportunity, other people represented me. The feasibility of the institute has gone very high, and I'm very happy about this.
Now, we also notice that the CITN is gradually spreading its wings beyond the shores of Nigeria. What is the idea? What's the goal?
Well, thanks to the people, again, a lot of thanks to the people who have been here ahead of me. I know we have had this plan to have this society outside the country, but somehow it was not working. So when I came, I felt that's an area we needed to do, and we took steps, and we were able to get registered, to get the UK and DC Society registered in 2023, and specifically in October, I think October 27, 2023, we inaugurated that district. That was the first step outside the country for us, and because that gave opportunity for our members in UK who have more dual or more than dual responsibility, client in UK, client in Nigeria, advising people on what to know about investment in Nigeria, or to advise them on their tax obligation, and even in other countries in Africa. That has given them the opportunity, and we are happy. And that has also led to a kind of relationship with the Chartered Institute of Taxation of UK, CITN. That has led to that. And because that was a success story, we have also moved to US, and we call them North America and DC Society. That was also inaugurated early this year. And that is bringing a lot of opportunity for engagement with several stakeholders beyond Nigeria internationally. And you agree with me that taxation is both local and international. The world has become a global village. There are a lot of people doing business in Nigeria, and they don't have permanent establishment here. OECD is covering that with a lot of regulations coming out. UN is also doing the same thing, so that we don't have loopholes in the tax system. Where do tax this company, and where would they have their exception, that kind of a thing. Look at the international taxation generally. That has helped. So with the UK and US district, and under my leadership, we have covered the whole 36 states and Abuja, having district in all of them. The last was Lafia in Nasarawa State. So no state is without a district in Nigeria now, because what we are doing at the national, we can't possibly reach out to everywhere. So the district society are like our subnational government, whereby they can reach out, they can educate, they can do enlightenment, because we have a lot of job to do in this regard. So with the US, UK, and other districts in the country, we have 49 districts as we speak. That's a massive improvement on what I met when I came to the office. So that is there. And in addition to that, we have massively, and I will put it within context, increase in membership base. When I was coming on board, we are within costing towards 27,000 membership base. And I was like, I was praying and hoping and working that before I leave office, I hope we can hit the 30,000 membership base. Lo and behold, we are almost 32,000 now. I'm eternally grateful for the work the Institute has done, for the work the staff have done, and the kind of acceptance that the Institute is attracting from other people across other professionals across the country. As we speak, we have applications from 2 non-Nigerians, one Italian, I think maybe another person from the Asia. We are considering, they are interested, they are desirous of being a member of the Institute, and so my successor in office will handle that. And once the criteria and all the conditions are met, possibly they become a member before the end of the year 2025.
That's impressive. Now, we also recall that early last year, that some members or some delegates from the Gambia Revenue Authority also came to the CITN for training. So do you have plans, or does the Institute have plans of extending this to other countries?
Thank you for that question. Yes, we have done a lot of work. And because CITN is the founding members as a country, as an institute in Nigeria, we have the founding members of WAUTI, which is West African Union of Tax Institute. So we've been to several countries in West Africa. I was the honorary treasurer of that body for about 3 years, and I was later the second deputy president. So in all our advocacies across the West African region, countries have realized the importance of CITN. So many individuals across these various countries are desirous of being members of CITN. That is on one hand, and the process for that is ongoing. I have no doubt that my successor in office will continue with that. But apart from that, the revenue authorities in this country, they have seen the gap, and they recognize that CITN has the capacity to train, to build capacity, to train their staff, and to also improve on their productivity. The Gambian, if I'm not mistaken, they've been here on 3 occasions, and the 4th batch is on the way to come here. And we have trained them in the area of oil and gas. Gambia is still prospecting for oil, but one of the things they have told us is that they don't want the kind of experience of Nigeria, and even recently that of Ghana. They want to prepare ahead of the actual exploration of oil in their country. So we have trained them. We have trained them in audit, particularly specialized audit and investigation. We have taken them through international terrorism, which is a massive area where many people don't have the expertise, even within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. It's an emerging area whereby no matter your level in terrorism, you keep on learning and learning and learning. So they were here, and I'm very happy for the feedback we have gotten for from the Gambian Revenue Authority for those who have been here. We are also expecting, by virtue of this step we are taking, we are expecting the staff of the Senegalese Revenue Authority. We are in the process of analyzing that. And recently I was in Kigali for a conference, and some people met me from the Rwanda Revenue Authority, the Kenya Revenue Authority. They are also desirous of learning one or two things from CITN. So our image, our influence is gone beyond Nigeria, it's gone global, and I believe as an institute we will continue in this trajectory to make sure that we impact not just Nigerian system, but system outside Nigeria.
Of course, that's very commendable. Now, we also recall that the 26th annual task conference, which was held in Abuja, FCT last year, was almost mad because of the withdrawal of the venue, the International Conference Center. We would like to know, how were you able to pull off such a successful annual task conference despite the challenges?
That is one major experience I had that shook me as the president of the institute. I was just in the office, and somebody sent a message to me that we may not be able to use the facility in Abuja. So I called the staff in Abuja to go and confirm that. Before they could confirm, I saw His Excellency Yeson Wike on the television. And the only thing I could remember I heard from him was that all bookings cancelled. And I was like, where is this coming from? Is there any emergency in the country? But whatever happened, government is government. So that was barely a month before the conference in May 2024. And the strength of this institute became very clear to me, the resilience, the loyalties of members, because advices started coming from many places. The people I didn't know were offering advice. Do we move it to this state? Do we keep Abuja as our location, but look for another facility within Abuja? Effectively, we got Abuja Chamber of Commerce, and we are happy that we are able to surmount that kind of a level of exigencies that we never planned for. And I'm happy 2026 Annual Task Conference was one of the best we have had in the institute.
Now, you're leaving behind a strong institute as well as a capable successor. What are your expectations?
Growth, positive impact, continuous positive impact. One, as said at the beginning of this interview, that the president is not a sole administrator. There's a lot of meaning to that. Two, I've just handed over to a technocrat, an experienced task administrator who rose to almost the #1 position in FRS as coordinating director, and who is I summarize him each time I want to make a statement about him. That's Mr. Innocent Oagwa, FCTI, the 17th president. My statement is that it's always that Oagwa is a very good person, he's a good man. And because he's a good man in terms of competence, in terms of character, in terms of what he stands for, his value, and in terms of his belief in the institute. So I believe going forward, under his tenure, we'll be expecting massive growth, more than what I was able to achieve. And because of the institute, because of the person coming, because of the country Nigeria, and because of the black race, because we need to move away from underdeveloped, developing to developed country. We have all the capacity to do it. And a man from Burkina Faso met me outside this country recently and said, everybody is looking up to Nigeria. The moment Nigeria moves, other African countries will move. And for these several reasons, I'm going to support him because that's the only way to go. He's a great man, And I'm happy that the institute is having that kind of person who combines lots of good qualities coming on board, taking over from me. And I will also pray for him. I wish him the best. I wish him all the best he can ever ask for.
Of course, we wish him all the best. Finally, before we let you go, where do you go from here?
I am one, because God has been good to me. That is basic. I can't deny in any form, under any circumstance, that God has been good to me. Before I came here, I'm a stockbroker, I'm a tax practitioner, I'm a lawyer, I'm a chartered accountant, and I'm a farmer. I have my farm where each time I pay the stipend I pay to the workers, I feel elated that I'm also contributing to the GDP of the country. I'm an employer of labor. And I'm a commissioner of the Tax Appeal Tribunal. So, lot of things waiting. I'm only struggling that I'll be able to rest, because it's like I'm too used to jumping up from the bed. Hey, is it Sokoto today? Is it Maiduguri tomorrow? What is happening in the National Assembly? How are we responding to this news that is coming? Is corporate responding? All those kind of analysis, all those kind of work. I'm struggling within my mind at that. I hope I'll be able to slow down. But slow down or not, there are a lot of other things calling for my attention. Even the family. I have a young man, young boy in my house. Sometimes my son, when I come, he looks at me, Dad, and I say, within my mind, his sister had a lot of me. I was carrying her up and down, but the young man has not gotten that kind of attention from me. So at least in the home front, I will also be available. And I'm also the president of my town union, Mesile Progressive Association. It's an honor. Mesile is an ancient town. It's an honor to lead great people. The first senator from Ijesa land came from my town, Ijesa Ife division, in the old western region. The first senator from that division came from my town. So for me to be the president of the association in that town, the association that is held in high esteem, then I'm grateful to God. So a lot of work for me ahead. So I will keep on believing in God, doing what I know how to do best, and believing that we add value. Because the essence of all this is just to add value to humanity. Once we're able to do that, every other thing will take care of itself.
Of course, and also joining, our voice to that of the man from Burkina Faso. He said that once Nigeria moves, every other African country moves, and we believe we'll get there.
Sorry.
It's on that note that we thank you, Barrister Agbeluyi. We wish you all the best, and we know that you are still with the Institute to lend support to the 17th president.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the partnership that has existed between us and TaxMatter. TaxMatter is a great stakeholder in CITN. They've done very well, and that is why we keep on appreciating you for the great professional assistance you have given to us. Thank you very much, and may God bless TaxMatter.
Amen. Thank you, and may God bless the Institute and Nigeria at large.
Amen. Thank you.
Here is wishing Mr. Innocent Chinyere Ohagwa, the 17th president of the CITN, and the 4 new council members a fruitful tenure.